I want to share a story with you about a close friend of mine, someone who believed he had finally cracked the code of the stock market. He wasn't just dabbling like most people do, this was his obsession. He lived and breathed charts, patterns, and numbers. He believed with absolute certainty that he had discovered a formula, a flawless strategy that would never fail. And for a while, I'll admit, it looked like he was right. He began with a few $100,000, money he had worked tirelessly to save. Every single trade seemed to go in his favor. His calls to me became routine, his voice overflowing with excitement, telling me how he had doubled his account overnight, or how a single option trade gave him $50,000 in profit before lunch. He'd say, "Elon, this is it. This is my shot at generational wealth. 5 years from now, I'll be a billionaire." And the thing is, he didn't just say it. He believed it with every ounce of his soul. At first, I admired his focus, his energy, his relentless drive. But deep down, I worried. Because the market isn't just math on a screen. It's a living, breathing thing made of human emotions. Fear, greed, panic, and euphoria. And no matter how smart you are, you cannot control the collective psychology of millions of traders. My friend thought he could. That overconfidence was the seed of his downfall. He began to leverage aggressively. He borrowed money to place bigger and riskier bets, telling himself he was simply speeding up the inevitable. And for a time it worked. His account grew like wildfire. I'll never forget the night he called me, his voice shaking with adrenaline. "Elon," he said, "I just hit $52 million. Do you understand what that means? 52 million. I've cracked the code." He spoke as if he had just discovered a new law of physics, as if his success was permanent. But when you play with leverage, you're not holding a golden ticket. You're sitting on a ticking time bomb. And then, almost without warning, the market turned. The stock he had gone all in on collapsed by 30% in a single week. Because he was leveraged so heavily, it wasn't just a setback, it was catastrophic. Margin calls began draining his account, liquidating his positions before he could even react. The fortune that had taken months to build evaporated in days. By the time he called me again, I could hear it in his voice. No joy, no confidence, only silence between every word. And then he said the words I'll never forget. "It's gone, Elon, it's all gone." At first I thought he meant a portion, 10 million, maybe 20. Painful, yes, but survivable. But no, he had lost everything. All $50 million wiped out in less than 2 weeks. Decades of discipline, months of adrenaline-fueled growth, and a sense of invincibility reduced to nothing. I sat there with him in silence. Because what do you say to a man who just lost $50 million? In the United States, 50 million isn't just wealth, it's freedom, security, influence. To see it vanish so quickly was like watching part of his soul being ripped away. He kept whispering, "I don't understand. I was winning every time. How can one mistake erase everything?" But the truth is, it wasn't one mistake. It was every little choice, every small moment of arrogance, every time he told himself he couldn't lose. They all stacked up until the collapse became unavoidable. That night I saw a man who once felt invincible, now broken, and I realized something. The market doesn't care about your intelligence, your confidence, or your victories. It only takes one wrong step, one moment of pride, and it can strip you of everything you thought you owned. After that night, I thought my friend would disappear. Most people never come back from a loss like that. $50 million gone, it crushes your confidence, your belief in yourself, your entire identity. I expected him to quit, to vanish into silence. But that's not what happened. The next morning, he came to see me. His eyes were tired, his voice was low. But there was something inside him that surprised me. A quiet fire, a refusal to give up. He said, "Elon, I lost it all. But if I built it once, I can build it again. This time slower, this time smarter. I'm not finished." I could see he wasn't lying to himself. He had faced the humiliation, the pain, the regret, and he had decided to endure. That's when I understood that wealth isn't about the money itself. It's about the mindset. It's about patience, persistence, and the refusal to let failure define you. The months that followed were brutal. He had to start almost from scratch. No more reckless leverage. No more chasing fast riches. He rebuilt with discipline, making smaller, careful investments. He studied not just charts, but himself, his emotions, his weaknesses, his impulses. He told me, "The biggest market I have to master is not out there, it's in here," pointing to his chest. And slowly, painfully, he grew again. A year later, he had recovered a fraction of what he lost. Not millions, but enough to prove that he was still in the game. 2 years later, he had built back real momentum. And after 5 long years of patience, focus, and resilience, he did something extraordinary. He not only recovered his losses, he surpassed them. The man who had once lost 50 million in 2 weeks stood again, with more than 50 million in his account. But this time, he wasn't reckless, he wasn't arrogant. He was calm, humble, and wise. He told me the loss was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it taught me what winning never could. It taught me humility. It taught me patience. It taught me that real wealth is not measured in dollars, it's measured in resilience. Those words stayed with me. Because success without failure is dangerous. It makes you believe you're untouchable. But failure, deep and painful failure, it reshapes you. It makes you stronger, if you're willing to endure it. So when I look back at his journey, I don't just see a man who lost 50 million and got it back. I see a lesson for all of us. The market will test you. Life will test you. You will face losses that feel unbearable. But if you hold on, if you stay patient, stay disciplined, and refuse to quit, you can rise again. My friend proved it. He lost everything, and he built it back. And I promise you, so can you. Because in the end, success is not about never falling. It's about rising every single time you do.